Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ringside Cinema. And the reason I call this channel Ringside Cinema is because there are moments in wrestling that can be defined truly as cinema. And to me, what we saw last night on the ending of Monday Night Raw was the definition of cinema, because the Wyatt Sick, that's what they're calling their name, the Wyatt Sick. I guess instead of six, it's sick, but I guess some people will still call it the Wyatt Six. It's the Wyatt Sick faction led by Uncle Howdy / Bo Dallas, Bray's brother. You had Eric Rowan, Joe Gacy, but the first thing we saw was Nikki Cross. Not Alexa Bliss. We didn't get Braun Strowman, and I will get to them in a minute because I have my theories of who I think they're going to feud with first. But before we get into that, hit that like and subscribe button today for more wrestling content. And of course, I will be here with my live stream of Forbidden Door at the end of the month, and of course my live stream for Money in the Bank. Yeet! Now, last night on Raw, we did see Jey Uso in the main event qualify for the Money in the Bank ladder match. And as he was celebrating in the crowd, we then saw the lights go out. We saw the door that Bray Wyatt came out of when he made his return at Extreme Rules a couple years ago. And then we saw something come through the door that was spooky, creepy, but people could tell that it was Nikki Cross. And the first thing I said, my reaction to this was, holy crap, this is what Alexa Bliss should have been when the Fiend possessed her, or whatever it was. You know, we all know the Fiend gave her the mandible claw, and then she kind of just got, like, abducted by the Fiend, so to speak. And then she was like, Sister Abigail. And what we're seeing with Nikki Cross is what the whole angle with the Fiend and Alexa Bliss really should have been. And Nikki, I mean, my goodness, the work with the I guess the face paint and the mask, absolutely incredible. Then we go to the back. We go through the back, and I don't blame the cameraman for not wanting to go through that door after what came through that door and what Nikki Cross looked like, because I wouldn't want to go through that door either. But he went to the back, and we see Eric Rowan. He has, a hammer, kind of a throwback to when he was in the Bludgeon Brothers with Luke Harper. And apparently the mask that Eric Rowan was wearing, the behind the back piece of it is kind of like a tribute to Luke Harper, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, and he's got the sledgehammer that they used to carry around when they were the Bludgeon Brothers, and it says "Help" on it. And then it just kind of shows the gorilla position where you have all these superstars, apparently, carrying Cross. Triple H apparently was rumored to be attacked. Let's see who else. Ludwig Kaiser, apparently Gunther. Some people said Cody Rhodes. Some people said Carmelo Hayes, which I mean they're SmackDown talent, and I mean if you are a Raw superstar who was not attacked by this new faction, I imagine you're trying to get traded to SmackDown so you don't have to deal with that and potentially die like Chad Gable did. Because Chad Gable apparently was Chad Gable, earlier in the night, we finally had the big moment where Otis had enough. He pushed Chad Gable and he left. And then in the back, Chad Gable was like, hey, what was all that about? And then Otis said, that's it, I'm leaving, I'm done with you. And the Alpha Academy left, and then Chad Gable vowed that he was going to do what Otis couldn't do, and that was he was going to win Money in the Bank and cash in to become the World Heavyweight Champion. Well, someone should check on Chad Gable because I don't think he's going to be in the match next week, or let alone Braun Strowman, because Braun Strowman was also attacked. And next week on Raw, it's supposed to be Braun Strowman, Bronson Reed, and Chad Gable in a Money in the Bank qualifying match. And 2 out of 3 are taken out by this new faction. So I think Bronson Reed, by default, is going to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. I think. Adam Pearce, you might want to confirm that. Now let's get to Braun Strowman here for a second, because I have my theories about this. Now, obviously, I did mention Alexa Bliss earlier. Now, she hasn't come back yet. We know she'll probably be back soon. And people did speculate, hey, she might be a part of this new faction. And some people said maybe Braun Strowman would be a part of it because he was in the Wyatt family. But we've seen Braun come back now for like the last 2 months, or whatever it's been, since he's come back from injury, and he's doing his own thing. And I gotta wonder with Alexa, is she gonna come back as maybe 2016, 2017 Alexa Bliss, and she's going to do her own thing, but will eventually be dragged into the Uncle Howdy storyline because, and again, this is where I go into my theory here. So, as we know, Jey Uso, he comes out, does his entrance, they turn the lights down, so now he's kind of incorporated the Fireflies into his entrance, which is cool as hell. Like, if you've not been to Monday Night Raw recently, and been there live for Jey Uso's entrance, like, it is incredible. Like, you see the atmosphere on TV. Everybody doing this, everybody's yeeting. And it's so cool in person. But now they've incorporated the Fireflies into this, and Bray Wyatt's I guess the word is widow. Bray Wyatt's widow, JoJo, basically gave Jey Uso permission to use the Fireflies in his entrance, and I think they're going to use that in the storyline, because I think we're going to see Jey Uso. He's going to be close to winning that Money in the Bank contract. He's going to become Mr. Money in the Bank, yeet. And he's going to be yeeting all around Toronto with that briefcase until the Wyatt family, or Wyatt Sick faction appears. Lights go out. They're going to push him off the ladder, and Jey is going to lose his opportunity to win Money in the Bank. And why? Because they're mad, or they're essentially going after him because he has what belongs to Bray, and that is the Fireflies. So I could see them doing something where maybe they transition the Fireflies as part of, or removing it from Jay's entrance, which, again, from a kayfabe perspective at least, that they remove it from Jey, and then it goes back to the Wyatt Sick family, where the Fireflies are just part of their entrance. But they could go after Jey, blaming him, saying, or at least saying, hey, you have what belongs to Bray, so we're going to take it from you. And then Jay's going to need help because you got like 5 people coming after him. And that's where I think Braun Strowman gets involved, and Alexa Bliss, where I think Braun and Alexa, Braun is doing his own thing. And Alexa, I think she's going to come back and she's going to want to do her own thing. But you got to remember, she was women's tag team champion with Nikki Cross. And we know the history between Alexa and Bray Wyatt. So to me, I could see where Jey goes to Braun and ask him for help. To team with him to help take care of this new family. Braun might actually might actually say, Jey, listen, I'm sorry, but look, the Wyatt stuff is in my past. I'm doing my own thing now, and same thing with Alexa. Jey could come out saying, hey, look, I need you to take care of Nikki or Sister Abigail, whatever they're going to call her. And then Alexa says, listen, says the same thing. Says all the Wyatt family stuff is in the past. I'm moving on from it. But the Uncle Howdy faction is going to be like, no, we're not going to let you move on. And they're going to force Braun and Alexa into this feud, so to speak, and where Braun and Alexa are going to help Jey battle this new faction. And I think that would be kind of cool because, I think that could be the reason why Braun was attacked last night, because Braun ultimately refused to join this new faction, and so he was attacked for it. And I could see, again, like I said, I know I just said how Braun wants to do his own thing, but, again, you could parlay that into Braun, like, yeah, he was attacked by him, but he's still trying to ignore it. He's trying to let it go. He's trying to be like, hey, I don't want nothing to do with this. The Wyatt family's in the past, all this stuff. But he'll have no choice but to team with Jey to deal with Uncle Howdy and this new Wyatt Six faction. So I think that's where they're going to go with this for their first feud. It's going to be Jey Uso. I think Braun Strowman's going to be involved in it. Maybe Chad Gable if he is still alive by next week's Raw. But we'll see. Maybe Drew McIntyre was smart, y'all. If say what you will, but Drew McIntyre quit earlier in the show on Raw because he was fed up with everything and CM Punk screwing him over. And he got out of there in the nick of time because he probably would have been massacred by this new faction too. So, comment below, what do you guys think of this new Wyatt Sick faction? And do you think that I'm right that they're going to be targeting Jey Uso? Does Braun Strowman get involved? Will Alexa return and get involved as well? Comment below. And make sure you subscribe for more wrestling content, as I'll be back later this week with more wrestling news.
Living out the dream. Lights down, time to go. Cheers for heroes we know. Ringside forever bold. Wrestling never gets old.